Alright guys, Marcus and James here inside one of our deals.
If you do have any questions about this property, please give us a call. We'd love to show it to you.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Invest, Sell, Repeat podcast with Marcus and James, where we talk from everything about real estate to golf, just general shenanigans. I'm producer Josh. This week things are going to be a bit different because, hey, we got better equipment. Our podcast is growing up.
Yeah,
we're out of the Stone Age, and things are about to get a whole lot better. And so enjoy the difference in audio quality. All right, let's get the show started.
No more hissing throughout the entire show.
Or crackling.
So when we first started, all we had was a lavalier mic in the center of the table.
Yeah, weeks ago.
It was like a lifetime ago in podcast years.
Yeah.
2 weeks, I think.
I feel like it was an endurance contest just to get through all the crackling.
We're just growing.
Yeah.
So we went out and we spent like $100,000 on audio equipment because money's really not a big deal to us. We just got so much cash laying around.
Young hustlers.
So we're good to go now, man.
Yep.
Badass audio equipment.
We're giving it's basically the quality of like This Is American Life at this point. It's insane. You got the mixer and everything right next to me.
Got the 5-star equipment.
5-star equipment. I love it.
How's the week going so far? Any developments? And
What is today?
it's Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Man, does anybody else have a hard time keeping track?
Yeah,
Like,
I do.
Yeah.
It's like every day for me is almost the same.
Yeah.
Like I don't have like a Monday through Friday and then take Saturday and Sunday off.
Mhm.
Well, I say that. Last weekend I did.
I took
We-
last weekend off.
We
I
had
was sick.
family reunion down at the lake.
Mm.
Had a good
Yeah.
time though. Caught
We
myself-
didn't go to the lake
Big old
before.
bass.
The weekend before, did you?
No, I don't ever go down to the lake
Oh.
except for the family reunion.
How'd that go?
The fishing was fun. The
That's
season
hotel.
was cool.
That's hotel.
No, you go down and you see a bunch of people that you don't really know that well and pretend like you're interested.
There's a reason why you see him once a year.
Yeah. Exactly. So yeah, no, we had a good time though. I caught a 3-pound bass. I just wanted now thinking about it, it might have been a 4-pound bass,
Mhm.
but it was big, man. Had a good time.
Big wiggler, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Hey. Okay, cool.
Look big in your small hands.
We need to work on the weird pauses where nobody's talking. We need to work on our banter.
Mhm.
Speaking of Donald Trump, no, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
Oh, speaking of that though, so it's clear to me that it doesn't matter who you vote for, if you're Democrat, Republican, those guys are not going to take care of you, right?
Mhm.
If you're not investing in your future and taking care of yourself and buying some type of investment that gives you a return, you're going to be hosed. The whole work for a company for 30 years, 40 years, and then retire and have a nice pension and live the type of lifestyle that you want is a thing of the past. So that worked in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, up into the 70s, and then that whole thing just started to change, right? So look what happened back in 2008. We had a huge market crash. And, so I get a lot of investors come in that ask me, hey, is there another bubble coming? What's happening? And, those are legitimate questions, but let's take a look at who really got hurt back then. Who were the people that really got hit the hardest? And those were people that bought houses right then and there for way over what they were worth, right? So one thing that I do love about real estate is it gives you the ability to have options. And that's one reason why James and I talk about cash flow properties. Okay, so let's think of back then, just imagine, what if you would have bought a property and you would have bought it right because you're a good investor and you had a tenant in place and the market crashed. What would have happened to you? Well, the equity would have gone down, right? But if you would have bought right and you were savvy, you wouldn't have had to sell it because you had cash flow coming in that would pay for your mortgage and pay for your expenses. And all you do is you weather that storm out, right?
Well, and it also pushes people to renting instead of purchasing.
Absolutely,
so,
man.
When
times get hard like that, what happens to rents? Do they go down? Do they crash like the market do?
No.
The market do?
Like
the market does? No, absolutely not, man. So when it's bad like that, people can't afford to go get mortgages, right? So what happens? They go rent.
Right.
So we actually see rent increase when the market's bad. So as far as I'm concerned, like James and I's business and what we do is foolproof.
Mhm.
Because the worse the economy gets, the better we do. Because there'll always be cheap houses to buy, right? And the thing is too, there'll always be big money here buying too. Like now that the hedge funds have caught on and they know that real estate is badass, there'll always be money here to buy. You know, what happens when the market gets really good, right? And you can't buy discounted properties. Yeah, you know, you change your investing strategy a little bit. All those rentals and those properties that you bought, you know, for the last 10 years, market gets better, then you start liquidating, right? And you cash out and you save your cash up and wait for it to crash again. Because real estate is like every other market, right? It goes up and down and there are these cycles. But what happens is, with most people, when the real estate market is hot, just like any other market, stock market, they see a hot market and they're like, man, I want to get in, I want to get in, I want to buy. And if you're doing that, it's too late. You're buying at the wrong time. So that's why, you know, people come in and they're like, hey, Marcus, we want to flip properties and we, you know, want to get these big checks. And so I always push people to buy rentals so they have that solid foundation of positive cash flow that comes in. You know, so come by, get a portfolio of properties coming, you know, and if it's something that you want to do passively and have passive income, we've got all the systems in place to do that for you. We can handle acquisitions, right? Construction, leasing, and property management. We've built all those systems in-house to really facilitate that. You know, so get your foundation, get solid in your investing career, and then go make those big paychecks. That was one mistake I made when I first got started. That's how I wanted to make those big checks, right? So we just started flipping houses, and what happened was, I believe it was in 2010, the first-time home buyer credit ended. Remember, first-time home buyers could get $8,000 to put down on a house,
Right.
and we were selling houses quickly. But as soon as that ended, what happened? Well, in Kansas City, it felt like nobody bought anything on the retail side for like 6 months. It seemed like an eternity to me, but you know, it was about 6 or 7 months. Like it just slowed way down, and we were getting like ridiculous requests too about like, you know, there were so many houses on the market then. People would come and say, hey, you know, I don't like the color that the kitchen is painted, and just ridiculous stuff like that. So I had to, you know, maintain those properties. I had to pay the utilities to keep them cold because nobody wants to show a house, you know, in the middle of the summer. And there's all these things that you had to do. And it's the thing about flipping houses, it is completely dependent on the market. So when the market's good, you can sell those houses quick, but the market can change on you in a minute. And if you're not ready for it and you haven't thought it through and you don't have a solid foundation or a backup plan, you know, it'll catch you off guard. That's exactly what it did to me. And that's
real common with investors too, is they just have one way of doing it. So they're either a landlord or they're a flipper, and that's all they know.
That's all I know, right?
And you, obviously, you weren't just one or the other, and you were able to have that backup plan, and I think that really helped, didn't it?
Sure did. Yeah. At the time, I didn't. I was like, hey, I want to flip houses, right? That was my investing strategy. And but when that happened to me, it just, you know, made me take a step back and look at the decisions that I had made and what I was doing, and you know, still realizing that I loved real estate and it's a great investment tool, but I wasn't utilizing everything that I had. You know, I didn't have a portfolio of rentals. So that's when I started buying and holding. And, you know, it helps smooth out those rough times.
How did you pick that up, though? Wanting to put together a portfolio, and was there somebody that you met that was kind of doing that, or that was just came to you naturally?
It was the next natural step for me.
Okay.
Is what it was. So, yeah, the thing is, I already had all my marketing out, and I could have been buying rentals, you know, for the last 4 or 5 years prior to that. It was just, you know, rentals. I don't want rentals, and I was just in that bad mindset.
Okay.
You know, but kind of a quick kick in the rear will make you rethink what you're doing and look at other options. And you know, that's what I love about real estate, is it just gives you so many options to invest.
So there's like a class of people that like look down on people who have rental properties versus people who just flip. Is that kind of the thing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
I think it works both ways, though.
The thing is, you go talk to anybody out on the street,
Mm-hmm.
and you mention rental. What's the first thing they're going to say?
Landlord.
Yeah, what they're going to do is they're going to spout off something that they've heard some negative relative say, or something negative that they've heard, because that's all they know, right? And they don't understand the benefits of holding properties long term. I mean, you don't get rich overnight doing it, that is for sure. But if you want to have sustainable long term wealth, cash flow properties is the way to go.
Having a company, you obviously have to hire on a lot of people, and that takes a lot of trust, especially when you're handling assets and investments like that. So I wanted to ask you guys, what really goes into putting together a successful team or a trustworthy team or that sort of thing?
That is a really good question.
I think sometimes we're trying to figure that
I
out
wish
still.
I knew the answer to that. It's a lot of trial and error is what it is.
Just kind of going with your gut.
Yeah, so we had, actually we have gone through quite a few people, and our whole process at the beginning was to obviously do the whole normal interview thing and sit people down and say, hey, I like that person, or, I think they would fit in really well. But what happens is in those interviews, they are selling you, and people will always oversell themselves. At least most people will. Now I have interviewed a few people. They're like, hey, I can do everything. I don't have any faults, and like just
It's
like
completely fake.
way over the top. And I'm looking at it and like, seriously, are you really telling me that right now? Like, you do everything good? Because I know I don't do everything good, and I know I'm really bad at a lot of stuff. And those are actually the people that I try to hire. I try to find what they're good at and how does it complement my weaknesses, right? That is an important part of it. So what we would do is interview and be like, yeah, that's okay. And then we'd hire somebody, and then as you give them tasks and you allow them to come work for you, it becomes very clear very quickly actually that, oh yeah, no, this person really doesn't know anything about whatever marketing, or they really don't have any sales experience like they told me, and it just becomes real apparent. So our standard procedure is, and we've done this on everybody else I think that we've got hired right now except you. You're the exception to the rule. Is the Colby test, and it costs us, I think it's what, $50.
Yeah.
It's $50, and it's not so much a pass or fail test. It's more of a, hey,
personality.
I'm hiring this person for this specific task. Are they actually good at sitting all day and entering data and doing spreadsheets, right?
Is
Are
that
they
the
creative?
letters, or is that the one with the colors?
No, we just
Results.
ask you questions.
It's a series of
Yeah,
questions.
it's a series
is what
of
it is.
questions that ask you, and then it helps you. It helps us determine whether or not like whatever we're hiring you for. Like he said, if you can sit at a desk all day,
Right.
are you good at that? Are you somebody who stays at a job long term? Are you creative? Are you? I don't remember all the things on it, but
Have you done one?
I've done one like 2 years ago.
I need to do one on myself.
I need to do one again.
I need to figure out how I work.
I feel like I've changed a lot over the last couple since I've done one. It's
Yeah.
been like a year and a half.
We should
But
do that.
they are very interesting to see.
Maybe we'll fire ourselves after we do
We
it.
might. We just
I
might.
don't like myself.
Yeah. But anyway, we have turned people down as a result of it, just because it was really apparent that they
Didn't
weren't.
stick around for jobs.
They didn't. Yeah, they were
Bounce
short term.
around.
Yeah, or they weren't good for the position that we were hiring for at that time, and it's really saved us a lot of time and effort, because it's amazing how far it'll set you back if you hire somebody that doesn't perform and that you have to constantly babysit, especially in a small business, man. Like, we rely heavily on our team. Like, our team has to be on point all the time, constantly,
Solving problems.
Absolutely. So that's a little thing that we do, is the Colby test. It's just Colby.com. I think
That's Kolbe.
it's the A index is what we use.
Yeah.
And then a lot of it too, I always, if I can hire people in positions that they have to prove themselves. A strategy that I did when I was first building the company was, somebody would say, hey Marcus, I want to come work with you, right? I want to learn the real estate business. And I'd say, okay, that's fine. Listen, why don't you come lease houses for me? And really what I'm telling them is, hey, prove yourself to me, right? Because leasing houses is a lot of work. It really is, man. You've got to hustle. You've got to get out, work your business. You got to show houses, and sometimes you have to go out quite a bit without getting a paycheck. And if you can do that and you can succeed at it, then I can get you plugged into one of the million other things that we've got going on here. The thing is, like, somebody that wants to come work for me, they have to have that drive, and they have to have the ability, like James said, to problem solve. That's such a huge thing. So we've got a student right now who that James and I are coaching. And he's constantly saying, hey Marcus, can you run numbers on this? Hey Marcus, can you do this? Hey Marcus, can you do that? And I've really been working hard to redirect him, because what he's doing is just using me as a crutch, right? And like, I could sit there and I could tell him if it's a deal or not.
But then he's not learning.
Yeah, he doesn't know what a deal is, right? And even if he thinks it's a deal, he couldn't tell me why. So I'm always pushing people to, solve problems and come up with their own, way of doing things. And you just get a better result doing that. We've just started implementing is making people jump through just a couple of hoops before they come work for us. So we do have this intern position that's a part-time gig, and we found Caitlin. Caitlin is working out very well. She's a very smart lady, and but what we did was we put ads out and we said, hey, listen, if you're interested in learning about the real estate business and you want to come work part-time for us, that we would love to have you come on. And what we want you to do is shoot a 1 to 2 minute video and just tell us about yourself. Upload it, and then we had like this little step process that we wanted them to follow. And it really what it was is to see if somebody would go to the trouble to shoot a video and then upload it to where we wanted and send it to the place that we wanted it to. And just a series of small, like nothing complicated. And so Caitlin was the first one to do that, actually.
I
And
think she's the only one that's
yeah, I know. I think she's the only one that submitted it.
well, that's the only one we've asked to do. So.
The thing is, we've got ads out right now though too, asking for the same thing. And we're getting people. I just talked to Hillary about this yesterday, and that are emailing us about it. And she says, yes, you have to follow these processes, and nobody will. So what you're doing by that is
weeding out the people.
Yeah,
who
weeding
can't
out the
problem solve or don't know how to do that
Absolutely.
simple task.
Right.
And the thing is if they don't know how to do it, they should be able to Google it and look online, because it's not like we're asking them to do
Simple
something
stuff.
great. Yeah, it's like just
Everyone has a
upload
smartphone.
Technology
It
is
is.
so accessible right now and so user
It is.
friendly. So I mean, look at the audio equipment that we've got here. What if we tried to set this back up in the 90s? Right? It would have been a nightmare.
Yeah, but
Dude, we literally went down and we spent like $1,500, right? And got it all plugged together. And you should if you could see right now, we've got cords everywhere. Like it's not, it doesn't look professional. I hope it sounds professional, but
it was badass. That's what it was.
here's the thing: is do I know about anything about setting up a little a podcast recording studio? No, I don't, man. But we went down, we problem solved it. It was super easy, man. And if that's so important to be successful in business, man, figure it out. I mean, think about it, James. That's what we do every day. We definitely don't have all the answers to the problems, but we are successful because we can figure it out. We don't sit around and bitch and complain and talk about how hard it is and just like all that other nonsense that other people do. We'll let them do
And if
that
we
shit.
can't, we hire people that can, or find people. Like today, we went to Guitar City or whatever it's called.
Big Dudes.
Big Dudes.
I
Yeah.
think that was a plug there.
To,
That's other payment.
Yeah,
give
no
them a
kidding,
plug.
yes.
Yep.
Shout out to Big. Actually, those guys were super helpful.
Mhm.
There was 3 of them standing there, and they probably spent 30 minutes,
Yeah.
40 minutes with us, just like, okay, you got everything. This is how this works, and got us all the equipment.
Yep.
And we came back and threw it all together, and it worked perfectly.
Yep.
So yeah, great bunch of guys up there.
We've always been quick to hire people. But I think we're also fast to, get rid of them. I think we're always wanting to get it
Yeah.
done, and
Definitely,
we
those are the
should go
mistakes
with
that
our-
we made in the beginning for sure.
yeah, go with our gut and try to make sure that we are hiring the right person. So, because you never know, all it is the interview is just basically them putting on, I don't want to say a front, but I
Sure
mean,
it is.
it's almost a game. It's kind of a game, and all that they're trying to do is just sell themselves to us instead of showing and proving that they can do what they say they're going to do.
Sure.
So, giving people time to do it and letting them go if they can, I think that's important too. And making sure you let them go if you feel like they can't.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
being
hold
the-
on for it.
The
and
thing
hope.
is, that's something like dealing with people has been one of the biggest things that I've had to learn as being an entrepreneur, because I'm not naturally be in front of people. People always say, hey Marcus, you're a natural leader, and I'm like, yeah, whatever. But that is all something that I've had to learn the hard way, and making a lot of bad decisions and hiring the wrong people and putting people in positions where they're not successful. I can honestly say, I had Hillary in the wrong position for a long time, and now she's in her little niche where she can excel and she's good, and so I'm always trying to work with people, but making sure that you're putting them in situations that they
can succeed.
absolutely is really important. The Colby test actually helps you do that as well.
In the beginning, though, how long was it before you guys got the team that you have today? Especially talking about the ladies in the back office, they seem to be pretty great at what they do.
They are great.
But we hired them earlier in the year, so we had a couple weeks, maybe it's 2 or 3 weeks where Marcus and I were doing.
It sure seems like it was longer than that. So we had
It
these
was
other
earlier this
we
year,
had these
wasn't
other 2 guys that we spent a lot of time with. This was last year,
Yeah.
and spent a lot of time training them and getting them up to speed. And there was a point where we would have staff meeting every week, and like we were covering the same basic things that we talked about the week before. Like, hey, why are the numbers not being run right? Right, that's a huge part of being successful is knowing how to run numbers. It just like stupid stuff like that. So we were consistently getting a lot of properties under contract that weren't deals, and that you talk about frustrating, because I mean, you think about how much time we spend doing that, and then not to capitalize on it is painful. So anyway, we had to let those guys go. Like they just weren't catching on, and it didn't work out quite the way that we wanted to. And yeah, so we let them go. And the thing is, we still had, like, we were sending out, good grief, back then probably 4,000 mailers a week. So we still had a ton of phone calls coming in that we had to process. And you should have seen us, man. I wish we would have had you on board, or we would have had somebody shoot video of it, because it was actually kind of funny. Because James and I were like out there in the main office, hammering out phone calls and just grinding it out, right?
Just you two?
Just us two, man.
Yeah, we were so lost and unorganized.
Yeah, completely. Yeah, because we had.
We know how to do it, but it was just, we were trying to scramble and do everything else on top of our normal day-to-day stuff. So it was definitely,
It was like a 3-ring circus.
it was crazy.
Actually, like during that time too, I don't even know if we actually did a deal from us making phone calls.
I don't think we.
I can't remember of a deal that we actually did.
Well, we got a couple under contract we thought were good. We had this one in Shawnee that, remember that one?
Yo, you gutted house.
Yeah,
I
that
totally
gutted
remember
house. That house was so nice. The guy put so much money into it, but we were just like, we couldn't quite get the number right.
Well, we had the right number, but he wouldn't agree to it.
Well,
That's
we
what
knew
it
where we
was.
needed to be. We thought we might be able to sell it just because it's a hot area and everything, but the house needed too much. If he was a light cosmetic, then the way the numbers were, it probably would have worked a lot better.
Absolutely.
So,
Yep, I forgot about that deal. That was an interesting one.
yeah.
Yeah, so what we did is just put out advertisements, and I think that we hired both of those ladies from a temp agency. It was kind of weird because we got like 3 Stephanies in a row.
Yeah, 3 Stephanie. The first one didn't work out, and then we hired 2 more in a row.
Yep.
Yeah. And
So that's why we call like Stephanie or
Andrea.
and Andrea, which I don't know if that's her middle name or just a
It's-
made up name or what it is.
yeah, I don't know. I think she said it's her nickname.
So speaking of that, we are looking to
Hire another Stephanie.
Yeah, another Stephanie. So yeah, as long as your name is not Stephanie, we do have an internship that would start out part-time that we're looking to hire actually right away, and also that has the ability to turn into full-time as well.
And
It's
bilingual
really-
is preferred.
Yeah, bilingual would be great. And then we also need another salesperson in. Our leads are coming in. We're generating a lot of online leads, and we're going to a couple other markets right now. And there's a lot going on and a lot of leads to process. And we just need people to come in and do that. So, a little plug for our company here. If you are interested in coming and working in a very successful real estate business, hey, we can get you plugged in some way. Well, like I said before, you've got to be a hustler, and you've got to be a problem solver, and you've got to bring your A game. Because we're not looking to hire people and then babysit them. We will train you to the best of our ability, and we will help with any issues.
We want people to listen and not think they know it all. I mean, that's important.
Yeah,
Well, who does? Know it all.
that's been an issue.
It has.
We have hired people that are, Marcus and James don't know what they're talking about type of attitude, and it makes no sense to me. So,
Thanks.
So yeah, I mean, and also if you're in Atlanta, I mean, we're going to Atlanta for sure.
I bet that
And
was
then
loud.
we'll maybe plug the hiring
That was my
process
cup.
again.
I'm gonna set my cup over here so I don't do that again.
But yeah, maybe we'll plug the hiring process again when we figure out that second market.
Yeah, we got a lot of big stuff happening. A lot of balls in the air right now, and there's just a lot of just developing going on right now inside the company, and it's exciting. It's like exciting and fun and like scary and frustrating all at once. But we love a challenge,
Yeah.
and we know we can do it, and we're damn good at what we do, and it'll be good. It'll be really good.
Well, this entire thing's just been one giant challenge, right? Just your
From the
challenge
very
each week.
beginning.
It has been. That's what makes it fun.
Mhm.
It's always something different, and you're not. I never get bored. I mean, it's. I know we keep saying fun, but
Fun.
it's always fun.
Can it be fun and stressful at the same time? Because I do find myself getting stressed out,
Yeah.
right?
Well, I mean, a lot of sports are fun and stressful at the same time, or games or whatever.
Like golf.
Well, yeah.
I don't get stressed out that much. I feel.
Really?
Yeah.
Because you don't work very hard.
I still work hard. I think I do different things, but I just I don't know. I enjoy it so much that it's hard for me to get stressed. It takes a lot for me to go, man. I just like forget the day,
Right.
you know.
Right.
But other than that, I usually don't. You know, I don't
You're
get stressed out
badass.
so much.
Maybe it's the beard.
I think it is. Do you get stressed out, Josh?
Not really. Like I always
You
drop it
go
as soon
beard.
as I'm done, like with the day. Like I never take
You
my
drop
work
the
home,
beard?
take the beard off, and then wring it out of all the stress, put it back on, and I feel better. But no, my philosophy has always been that after the work day is done, then kind of relax a bit and gym or whatever.
I have been trying to cut it off kind of at 5 or 6 and not do
Can
too
you
much.
do that?
I've been doing it a lot easier. Like at night, sometimes I'll do some little things at night, just little work wise. But I've been trying to like maybe watch some TV or just
What?
do something that
So
makes
that's
me
your
laugh.
advice to people to be
No,
successful
I-
is turn it off and
turn
watch
it off.
TV.
No, I don't think watch TV, but yeah, I try to watch some stuff that's just funny or just
Yeah.
to kind of take my mind off of it and
Sure.
try to. I've been that's my biggest thing I've been pushing for lately. Is just to turn it off. So
Yeah.
it's
That's
just
why.
hard.
That,
It's
honestly,
hard.
that's why we started playing golf.
Mhm.
Because we do have a tendency to work 24/7,
Yeah.
and there are no weekends, and there is a hustle factor that you have to have in this business. You have to get out and you have to grind it, But the thing is, you do get to a point where you don't have to do that 24/7.
Mhm.
And I was at the point too. I would say like 3 months ago where I couldn't turn it off, and that's all I was thinking about was my business and growing my business and hiring people and developing systems. The thing is, you can only do that for so long. So we're all human, and we all have to take breaks.
You
That's
guys-
pretty good.
What kind of deals you guys working on this week? Any developments? Any properties?
Man,
things
we've
like
got so many deals lined up that are supposed to be closing here. So it's funny how doing deals comes in cycles, just like anything else. We'll be marketing our asses off, right? And it's like nothing will close. And we're just actually coming out of a little spell like that. We'll get houses under contract. They're good deals. We've evaluated them correctly.
Mhm.
Sellers are motivated, and then you have title issues like
Right.
that.
Or the buyers slow down.
Remember when you and I started together was it almost 2 years ago now? We got a bunch of really good deals under contract, and we're killing it. And then, and these were like $10,000 deals, which is a great, assignment fee. That's a good wholesale deal right there. We had several of those lined up, and one after the other, title issues can't close, and we had buyers lined up. We had earnest money. Those kinds of things always happen in your business. The thing is, you just have to keep grinding it out, and making it happen, and marketing, and what happens is think of it like a log jam, right? It gets log jammed up for whatever reason. Maybe you're not marketing, maybe you're not answering your phone. I'm totally guilty of that. I'm probably the world's worst. When my phone rings, I'm like, if I don't know the person, I'm probably not going to talk to them.
Sure.
But what happens is that log jam will bust wide open, and then you'll just get a ton of deals done. And that's we're right on the edge of that right now. So we've got a ton of deals under contract. We've got buyers lined up for all of them.
Mhm.
And working through some title issues, working through seller problems, right? We've got one right now where the seller isn't responding to us, and the end buyer has already funded in all the money and is ready to close and has signed his closing docs, right? There's always problems like that you have to work through.
It's either that or the buyer.
The thing is, we're
They can
not
hold the
talking
buyer.
about problems right now. We're talking about deals that we have lined up.
Yeah.
Rabbit trail again. Next time, just reach across and slap me.
Okay.
So deals, we have a ton of deals right now. We've
We got a flip deal we're working on.
We're
get
doing
together.
We're doing flips
It's
together.
a huge project.
Oh, it's huge. Yeah, construction. It's a big construction project, and I'm sure we'll get a lot of good video on that. But we got a ton of them right now. So James and I, right? So what are we sending out right now as far as just mailing pieces on the seller side? So this is sent.
Yeah, just on the seller side, we're doing 6,000 a week. So I don't know what that is per month, a little more than 24,000.
Right.
But 6,000 a week, and then on the buyers, I think we're doing like 500 a 1,000.
A week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which actually we're working on scaling that up too, just through a couple different, not necessarily on direct mail, but just scaling up our marketing on.
Some other avenues.
Yeah, just some other avenues that we're testing right now, that we're actually getting pretty good results in. And that's really the name of the game. So one of the biggest problems that I had when I started in this business is I was a one-man show, which there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to understand the dynamics of it. And what I would do is I would either send out my direct mail or I would put out my bandit signs and I'd get all these phone calls in, and then I would quit putting out signs, right? Because now I'm spending all my time making phone calls, making follow-up calls, evaluating deals, and then I'd get a couple deals under contract and I'd sell them, and then I'd be, okay, now where's the next one? And I wouldn't have any leads to follow up on, or very few leads, because I wasn't consistently marketing. And that's really what we do at our core, is we are marketers, whether for buyers or for sellers. And the person who is the best at that is the one who wins the game and gets those big paychecks. So that's what, like, every system that we have inside of 5-Star is designed around marketing and follow up and, you know, talking to people and really just like having this engine that goes out, this marketing engine that goes out and just brings in leads that we can filter through. It's really the name of the game. Like, in its nutshell, that's what it is.
So everything is a system, whether it's how you answer the phone and handle that call, or how you talk to a buyer, or how you negotiate, or how you run the numbers. Like, every single little thing that we do is a system in itself. And if those systems aren't working together in harmony, then that's when the problems come.
Yeah, so we spent hundreds of hours and we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars developing what we have. And we're getting to the point now where everything is really starting to come together. You know, even though, like, sometimes it feels like it's not, because James and I are always pushing and we're looking to take the 5-Star name and go into other markets, right? Which it has its own set of problems. But the thing again, like, it goes back to, we love a challenge, right? And you know, at the end of the day, we have a lot of systems that work fantastic and they work really well and they're very streamlined. And on the same hand too, man, I keep saying that, on the same hand. I don't know why I keep saying that.
Which hand?
The same hand. Yeah, you know, we have things that don't really work that well. I'm trying to think of something that we had to troubleshoot here just within the last week. And I think we talked about this on the last show. But
we had those couple deals that we were working on, and then we had to we were trying to coordinate everything between, you know, the 5-Star and Alpine, and you know, with the tenants, and making sure that documents were getting sent, the ones that were rented, and then, you know, on some of them we didn't know if they even had tenants, and it was just a kind of a lack of communication. We had to tighten some stuff up on that. And then just even the stuff with the title company, you know, they're running into a lot of issues with the newbies that are coming in and the wholesaling properties, and, you know, they're just not providing the information that they need. They don't know how to contact the sellers. The title company doesn't. And you know, they came and sat down with us, and we were trying to come up with a strategy that would be beneficial for them as well as us. They didn't want to cut off our business or charge us fees or do anything like that. And so it kind of opened up some dialogue for us to be able to figure out a solution, and then just help them coach some of those newbies to, you know, for one, help the newbies, but then also just, you know, help their business as well. So
I think that's a great opportunity for both of our companies to really work together.
It definitely is.
So what we're doing is putting a meetup together. It'll be next month on the 18th,
yep.
And we'll put locations and times and everything on the website. If you're interested if you're interested, you can check it out there. It's also on Meetup. Is it just
It'll
Meetup?
be on the
It's
show
Meetup.
notes for this too.
Meetup.com, I think, is what it
Yeah,
is.
we'll put a plug on social media as well. More details.
On James's Twitter, if
Yeah.
he doesn't know.
It's a J Dunwoody 2.
Oh, he does know it.
I do
Yeah,
know
he's
this now.
changed it.
I got them all switched to the same thing now.
pretty tight.
Just we have a lot of wholesale stuff going on.
So that's really our
Couple.
niche. Our niche are doing, we call them pre-rehab deals, because they still need work, right? They're properties that are under contract, and we're selling them to an end buyer. At the same time, if you do come buy a property from us that's a pre-rehab deal, then we can still fix it up for you and get it leased and manage it. So everything that we've got is vertically integrated, and we spent a lot of time just figuring out those systems, man. So we actually figured out one time, and man, I hope I'm saying this right, but just to go do a deal, right? And to find the deal, buy it, get it rehabbed and tenanted, it takes like 140 hours of man hours to get that done per deal, right? So we're actually saving a bunch of time. just by, like, if you knew the amount of money that we invested just to get each deal, it's mind blowing. We actually got all the stats like broken down on that too. You know, but it
Which
takes,
is important to keep track of.
yeah, it really is, especially, you got to know where you're at in business. You know, so that's something that you as an investor can come take advantage of, come buying properties from us and letting us handle it for you, and let us, you know, you don't have to go out and figure it out yourself and spend, you know, the next 10 years, like I spent the last 10 years, you know, getting really good at getting these properties rehabbed and rented, you know, in a very quick amount of time.
Right.
So yeah, we bring a lot to the table, man. We've got a lot of balls in the air.
Right. And there's lots of different levels to invest, right? Like, you don't have to be super rich to get into this program, right?
No. You
So-
don't have to.
Define super rich.
Oh, nowadays I think you have to be super rich as like what, half a billion
Half
a
a
year.
billion?
I don't even think if you're a millionaire you're super rich anymore.
Yeah, $1 million isn't a whole lot anymore,
No,
is it?
I don't think so.
Oh, yeah, you don't have to have $500 million.
Mm-hmm.
So our houses here, typically you're all in around $40,000 to $60,000 is going to be your all in. That's the purchase price and rehab. Now we do have properties that we have bought and fixed up and already placed a tenant in, and there's advantages and disadvantages to both. So since we put so much time and effort into those turnkeys, we do sell them at a premium, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what happens is you get to come buy them and
Start making money.
Start making money right away. You don't have to go through the construction process. You don't have to go through the leasing process. You know, so there's a barrier there. It really just depends on your investing strategy and really what you're looking for. I have investors that love both types of investments, and you know, it works really well for them. So we can really, what you're looking for, we can customize it and we can provide it for you.